Hello and welcome to day 22. Oh my gosh, the time's ticking away. I just realized I never told you the story of blue, the blue color. I know it was in the book briefly in the daily activities, but I just wanted to tell the story because it was such a simple way to bring happiness into my life that I thought, wow, it is just that simple. So I'm married to someone who's not from this country, whose language was different than mine, whose religion and culture and everything was different from mine. He's from the Middle East, he's from Jordan. And when we bought our first house, he didn't know how to do yard work. He didn't know how to run a lawnmower. He didn't know how to he'd watch, if ever he heard the lawnmower going outside, he'd just get outside and start watching people do their yards and see how it's done. And of course, he didn't want to know from me how to do it, even though I knew how to do it. But he didn't want to hear from me how to do it, so I was like, fine, discover it on yourself. That's fine with me. But then he would run into these things or do something wrong, and he'd be like, oh, the crust, yeah, because you should turn the edge, or you couldn't figure out how to do the edging. And he was like cutting off a lot of the grass. So that's not the purpose of it. Anyway, so when we bought that first house that we had already been living in because we were renting and then we bought it, he did a lot of work in the backyard, and so one day decided he wanted to paint the fence. I knew I was in the kitchen, I think, maybe dinner, I don't know. I was in the kitchen. From the kitchen, you could see the backyard, and he came in and was like, you know what, I have an idea. I'm like, what's your idea? He said, I want to paint the fence. I'm tired of staining it every year. I'm like, oh, geez, people don't do that. That's not a thing. I mean, there's white picket fences that get painted white. He had already done painting of things, and he didn't really, he painted like all different colors with no design, and I was just like, oh, not my personality. A little bit too wild for me, like unstructured. And so it scared me when he said, I want to paint the fence. I envisioned like every board a different color, oh. Anyway, I asked him and he was pretty dead set on it. Like, yeah, I'm going to paint it. And I said, well, I was like, thought of a compromise really fast. I said, well, if you're going to paint it then, because I was in the kitchen, right? I was like, I spent a lot of time in the kitchen. And I spend more time in the kitchen than anyone else. And from the kitchen, I could see 3/4 of the fence. So I said, let me pick the color. I want to pick the color. He's like, oh, okay. Which I didn't know if he would agree to it, but he said, okay, what color would you pick? And I said, blue. And I said, not navy blue, not sky blue, not this blue, not that blue. He said, okay, I'll bring paints. He didn't even argue with me. I was just so happy that he didn't argue with me on the kind of blue. And he brought me some swatches from the paint store, and he's like, here's the kind of paint I'm going to use. So here's all the blues I could find. And I picked the one I liked. And I never imagined how much joy I would get from seeing that fence. It looked like the ocean surrounded our backyard. That's what it looked like. And the feeling, even now, I'm getting goosebumps from thinking of seeing it, because we're not in that house anymore. That simple thing of this color blue all along the fence, wow, it was really magical. So be whimsical is what I want to tell you. Be whimsical when you're deciding what you want to do and what you like, and maybe it's how you dress. Like my husband was always criticizing how I dressed. It wasn't formal enough for him. And I'm like, but I'm not a formal person. Stay-at-home mom, grew up poor, what do I know about style? And he was never satisfied with what I chose, but eventually I stopped trying to please him with what I was wearing because I'm the one wearing it. Why do I have to conform to what he expects me to wear or how he expects me to look? Eventually, I'm only going to be happy if I'm wearing what I want to wear. And I'm a Taurus. I want to be comfortable. I wear comfortable clothes. I wear baggy clothes. And that's probably what he didn't like about the clothes I was wearing, is they were baggy. But at some point, I couldn't care anymore because it was just making me so unhappy and miserable and not really good for my self-identity. So Be whimsical. If you want to see what you look like in a whatever, do it. Get it. Go try it on somewhere and see what it looks like and get it. And if you're happy wearing it, wear it. Who cares what anyone else thinks about it? Who cares what the front yard look? Who cares? Like, really, who cares? You're the only one who matters when it comes to your opinion of yourself. So that's kind of the message I wanted to give you, was just keep discovering who you are and what you like and what makes you happy. And when you notice something making you happy, when you notice that happy feeling, what are you doing? And go write that on your happy list, because apparently that makes you happy, right? So keep discovering what those things are. Keep remembering your childhood. What did you do to make yourself happy? What gave you the most joy? And start filling your life with those things. And you'll be surprised at how much time you spend feeling good, instead of feeling like, what is the purpose of this life, right? We're trying to get out of that and into the feeling of like, wow, life is really fun. Life is amazing. Life is an adventure. Yes, you make it that way. You're the one who makes it that way. So keep discovering, and I'm going to let you go before it gets too long. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.